engineering who feature into the design and construction of automobile. We also have a guest in the studio who will be discussing issues on ICT, that is Information and Communication Technology. But before we host the guests, let's see the students that designed the automobile.
This is our final year project.
My name is Cynthia Chinonso.
Okay, Ola should become blessing.
Alison Wisdom Ikenna.
Olive Austin.
Jamo Jeremiah James.
Nimzu Paul Johnson.
Student of Mechanical Engineering, University of Jos, 500 level. These are final year projects which we embarked on as a team.
What really inspired me to embark on a project like this is my love and passion for the field. I saw this as an opportunity also to get the right people, the right team members that will be able to accomplish something great like this.
And one of the roles I get to play here is based on the material selections.
My major role in this project, in achieving this project, was the exterior aspects, bringing out the beauty, as you can see here.
What I actually did on the car was making of the car body.
That's the molding, right from layering the fibers and then bringing out the shell of the body shell, and then joining the body into a single unibody, and then also joining it to the chassis frame that was constructed.
I carried out the concept designs for the car body and also the chassis. We built the chassis from scratch with locally sourced materials, and also we built the body. So we got all that from the base plan of the project, which was from the concept designs, which I did. The car is a rear-wheel drive with a Bajaj engine, which is 1 cylinder, and it's just 20 horsepower, and it's a sports car actually, but we used a little engine because that was what we could afford as students, and due to the design considerations we built this car on the basis of lightweight, so the engine strength is still enough to power the car. And the body is made up of fiberglass. We use epoxy and matrices with accelerator and some other chemicals to get the body. And we did the chassis with using mild steel pipes, 1-inch pipes. We welded the pipes locally in the workshop. We fabricated the wheel, the steering knuckles, and we fabricated the gearbox, which helped us convert the gear settings. Since a Bajaj engine, mostly Bajaj is used in bikes, but we converted it and fabricated a gearbox that will allow us to have a gear stick and be controlled like a car.
My initial reaction was that the development of an automobile is not an easy job.
Being a fan of cars, I was like, wow, I think I love this project, but I can tell you it won't be easy. Because the reason why I say it won't be easy, because you don't find design of cars in textbooks, because it's patent to the companies, so they don't release their secrets. So it means that you have to apply the knowledge from the classroom.
So if they actually intend to achieve it, they must put in their maximum effort. As an engineer and somebody who has worked in the automobile industry, I know what it takes to develop an automobile. They had to put in 110% if possible to achieve. So today, I am so elated that they were able to achieve from the design, from the concept to the design, to the development, and to the testing of the automobile. I am so elated because my students are putting so much work, and I am happy with them.
Wow, I think when they drove the car into the school yesterday, I was like, wow, this is interesting. You know, I was so proud, you know, of them, and they have done really a great job.
Benny Automobile, the person of Jerry Malo, he inspired us in so many ways. Like, he exposed us to a lot of things, and during that 300 level we went for a conference he organized, and during that conference he exposed us to a lot of things, and he showed us some of his works, and that was where we picked interest, and we decided to go for our COS 1.
I'm Engineer Kamtu Peter Moar, the current coordinator, Mechanical Engineering Department. What we try to put across to our students in the current generation, it's not just the theoretical aspect. So when this came up, we were excited. We put up ourselves together. We know we have given them the basis. That's the theoretical, the theory aspect of it, of which, not car, if they feel they can develop, they can fly an aeroplane, they have the knowledge.
Professor Benjamin Danshik Dajab, the current Dean, Faculty of Engineering, University of Jos. These are just but a few of some of the innovative projects that are being undertaken by some of our undergraduates.
The thing is, one of our biggest challenges is funding. That is one. Another thing again, getting those materials. And thirdly was the timing. Because it's a school work, you know, we couldn't just relax, and because there are tries and errors. It's our first time, and those errors, we want to try to fix this, we want to try to do this. So those were our challenges.
If we had more time, we think that we can actually do something more better of.
The name of the car is Aspira Esport, and we got the name, they are French names actually. Aspira stands for strive, like to strive, and Esport means hope. So we're striving because we believe there's hope for Africa to meet up with the world in terms of automobile technology.
So I actually see myself pursuing a career in the automotive industry in the future.
You are welcome back. In the studio with me is Mr. Shola Ishola, the media assistant to the governor of Osun State on ICT. We have in the studio Mr. Ishola. You are welcome, sir.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ishola, let's look at ICT. What's even information communication technology?
Okay. Once again, thank you for having me. Before now, what we have had is people believe that information is spread through a particular means, which we now refer to as the traditional medium, which is maybe in this case television and radio and then newspaper. But then when internet evolved, we realized that there's a merger between how information can be passed to people and how it can is now enabled by internet.
Yes.
Back then, you know, the traditional definition of communication, for instance, has no room for feedback, which internet has allowed it to happen. So it's really a growth. Information and communication is a merger of this old system with the new system, but now being enabled and given more room to allow inputs from different ends.
Okay, now we see that ICT is taking over all industry.
Yes.
And this is one of the technology or the backbone of the banking sector.
Yes. Yes.
Recently we have an issue with bank network, the way people access their account details in the bank, transferring money. Now, I will say we are not mature enough to use this kind of technology in Nigeria that is causing this kind of problem. Where are we getting it wrong?
We're not too young or too old, you know, to say that we want to migrate into what people now describe as cashless policy, and because that was what happened. That was what led to the load on the servers of banks in Nigeria. But what really happened is a two-way thing. Number one is that the CBN guidelines for mobile transactions, right? It has to be reviewed. For instance, in some developed nations, when you pay me for a product, our transaction is pending until I receive your money.
Okay.
Your account is debited. What you are seeing on your end is pending too. when I get credited and I note and it is confirmed that I'm credited, that's when you get your debit alert, and that's when the transaction is considered completed.
Okay.
Here, that's not what happens. What happens is that we have a gateway, a payment gateway, which is designed by an independent organization, which banks hire. Banks hire those gateways, payment gateways.
Okay.
So they take money from your account to my account. What happens is that most times internet, that's what we call glitch. So there is a glitch. When glitches happen, your money hangs, right? So the issue now becomes, oh, did your money leave your bank? Did your money get to the bank it was going to? Sometimes some of the payment gateway guys have a holding capacity, which means your money can be with them at some point. So it's now your bank. That's why they will give you a number of days. So if you go complain in the bank, they give you a number of days. You know. So if we have a pending solution as well, they just need to do. They call it tech layers. Tech layers, which means that if you, for instance, put your card into an ATM machine, there are steps at which the card, between when you get paid in cash and when you put your PIN, there are steps that the device had gone through, which is they regard it as technical architecture. So what it means is that the card accesses your bank account. You put your PIN, it accesses your bank account. It takes money from your account and notify you that money has been taken from your account. Then it goes to the other person's account, drops the money there. Then that person is also notified that money gets into the account. But you would have noticed that sometimes you get debited or credited, and you don't see a lot until after 5 days, because there is there is a pool, and then those files are treated like one after the other. So there is a backlog of events that have happened over time, and people have not gotten. So notification comes as one is processed and is done, another one comes and is processed and is done. That's where we have issues. So now what has happened to us is that there are limited number of payment gateways in Nigeria, and all of us depend on that gateway. So all of us are now on the gateway.
On the gateway. Now, talking about network.
Yes.
We cannot remove ICT. This same network that we have in, or the server of a team in Nigeria, where are we still getting it wrong? Is it like this in overseas? It's not.
Yeah, it's
so
not.
Where are we getting it? Where are we supposed to trace back this so-called information and communication technology that is driving the banking? It's not only in banking industry. So many sectors is suffering.
Yes.
Sometimes when you want to do your passport of a thing, they have it's a lot of delay happens. Where are we getting it wrong?
I mean, so what where we have issues is infrastructure, technical infrastructure.
Okay.
We don't have enough resources to be able to handle the kind of requests, you know, that we get. There is this load. I mean, you know, sometimes you receive a message from your bank that they want to upgrade.
Yes.
They will send a message that they want to upgrade because they realize maybe some of their systems are outdated or are worn out. So where we have had issues is that employments are not done as I went due, and then maybe one person's job is given to, 5 persons' job is given to one person. So in this case, each bank, for instance, is supposed to be able to design their app in such a way that you and I can use it. They don't do product tests or product research. They don't ask you, their customers, how can we better serve you with this application? So they just do their own thing and dump it on us. So the servers are supposed to be that one bank or 10 banks does not depend on one.
Okay.
Each person is supposed to be able to provide a solution that can help the people. I don't see a reason why banks should not have their own payment gateways.
And they lumps everything
together. And so we're having one bank, one payment gateway company handling 5 banks.
All right. I pray that Nigeria will get it right.
So it's a work in progress. We will.
All right. Now let's go back to the ICT itself.
Yeah.
Now, how viable is ICT in creation of job for youths?
I laugh because I've seen ICT transform people's life, like basically in few days. Now, there's a thin line between when people make money and use it, and people say, all we see is carrying laptop. Some people believe it's a fraudster because, you know, it's made money from internet. But I have seen people who are working legitimately they are working with foreigners, they don't leave their houses, and they make money. What we lack in this part of the world is access to information, and sometimes the willingness to search for information, and then sometimes the cost, because you cannot, to get any job in an ICT field, you need certifications. Many people don't want to get that certification. They want to learn economy. They want to learn from one person. If I teach you, if I know how to do it and I teach you, you won't get a job with it because you don't have certificates. That's how ICT works. So people need to get trained, get certified. There are jobs online, remote, hybrid. Some companies will take you from Nigeria and take you to their country because it is ICT enables people, to have access to the world out there. But you need the willingness to be able to do it. You need time. It's not magic. It's not you learn today, you make money tomorrow. Because they do profiling. So they check your background. How many years have you done this thing you claim to have been doing? How well can you, so they put you to test. How well can you do it? So what I'm saying in essence is ICT can make people, self-sufficient, is enabling, but there are steps to follow, and people must be able to follow through the processes.
Now, how accessible are this training that you talked about?
Very accessible, sir. It is online. Many of them are online. Right. Many of them are online, but people need to go and search for it. Okay, that's just the truth.
And you, as the media assistant to the governor of Osun State on ICT, what efforts is the government doing in ensuring our youth are empowered in terms of ICT?
Yeah, so when we started in November, some of the areas where we had taken the work from is that we are doing policies that would guide the ICT sector in Osun State. Policies are framework upon which you implement your plans. So what we did was to do the STI policy, ICT policy that will guide government. Now the importance of it is that if a government goes, another government comes, there is an existing framework that you work with in this sector, which is the ICT sector. Now, what it also enables is that you can approach international organizations to say, I want to train 10,000 youths in so and so. Come and partner with us, give them certificates. They would see that you have a framework upon which you can work. They will push forward their own guidelines, and then you can push them through. So there are plans in that regard. We are still at the formative stage for that. At the time when we are done with the planning, the announcement will be made and people will be enrolled to train.
All right. You talked about Yahoo the other time. Now, how do you think ICT can curb this crime?
Let me first of all say that a lot of people don't know that this word Yahoo, many of them are not ICT experts. They don't know Jack. They don't know Jack. Okay. Like, I'm saying many of them. I'm not saying all of them. Okay. Some people are ICT experts. But this is what I'm not trying to explain. I can't explain this on TV because it's like I'm teaching somebody how to do bad things. But I'm saying they don't know operation. They don't know the operational ethics of the ICT sector. Okay. They probably just obtain numbers and then reach out. So what it can do, and the reason why we want to be doing profiling, we want to bring back to the States people who have been enabled by ICT, whose story can inspire youth. So we invite them, bring them to the media so that we expose the opportunities that exist in the world of ICT to the youth. Okay. I think that if we do that, we have kind of whet their taste to want to be a part of. It's an easy life when you can work, earn your own money. You can even imagine somebody earning dollars in this current situation that we are in the country. So what we want to do is to open up that space and let them see the opportunities that exist in the ICT sector. Okay. With that, I believe they will be encouraged to want to be a part of it.
All right, thank you. The program is Engineering Track, and in the studio with me is the media assistant to the governor of Osun State, Mr. on ICT, Mr. Shola Ishola. We have been looking at the issues surrounding information and communication technology, and now let's look at another area.
Yes, please.
And the fraudsters they are now penetrating the banking industry in Nigeria.
Yes.
Gone are the days when we look at, we hear about overseas.
Yeah.
Within Nigeria now, they are doing that.
Yes.
How can bank customers safeguard their accounts?
So you see, I see the issue we have, like I said, is it has to do with understanding processes, right? So let me see, I would not really want to be dwelling on the problems. So let me just try and maybe do a summary of it. The first thing is that don't use the same password for all your applications or your mobile phone.
Okay.
Why? They can upload malwares on your phone. Malware will be on your phone. When you enter any detail on your phone, malware picks the details and forward it to the person who uploaded the malware. Number two,
repeat the first one.
Okay.
So that viewers
malware is like a virus that is designed.
I mean, when you are talking about don't use
the same password for all your applications. And in fact, the best practice is to change your password at least once in 3 months.
Okay.
Because over time, there are people online who upload malware, and malware will be on your phone, you wouldn't know. So it picks your details and forward it to the person that uploads the malware, so they can have access to your details. Yeah. They don't even need to do anything. They just open your app and take your money. Number two, people should should avoid downloading applications with less size because they want to save space on their phone. Go for the official banker.
Okay.
Because they do phishing. When they do phishing, what they do is phishing replicates the application on your phone. If it takes the original application on your phone, it takes it away, and upload a new one on your phone which is fake, and then it looks exactly like your bank app. So when you open, so without you opening your phone, they can open your app and take your money. Okay. Without any, because already the malware on your phone has given them your password.
So they can access.
So they don't need anything. They access your account and take your money.
Okay.
So there are a lot of issues like that. But you know, the other one is spoofing. You know, they just existing. You see your own phone, but somebody had done. They call them keyloggers.
Okay.
They have a screen recording app. Is it like malware? They upload it on your phone. They can record your entire screen. Your password, your details, your everything. So that's why people are saying, oh, somebody took my Facebook app, somebody took my this app, because they have a malware scan.
Okay.
Periodic scanning.
Our viewers are not tech.
In fact, best practice. Okay. Best practice. After like a few months, 6 months, 1 year, restore your phone to factory settings. Back it up, restore it to factory settings, then upload the document back. Because people who are doing evil are constantly doing evil. They don't care about you or your details. They just want to make money illegally.
Okay. I believe our viewers has gotten that. Safeguard your accounts. Do all what he has just said now. But before we go, our time is fast spent. Please, what do we expect in terms of ICT?
Yes.
In this administration?
So, like I said, we've started out with the ICT policy, STI policy, the Oshun Startup Act. We started also on Google Mapping project. These things are what we are creating as a framework upon which trainings will come. Trainings will come, tech hubs will exist. We already are forming tech associations. We've had one that is referred to as the Forum of Digital and Technology Entrepreneurs. So with that, we're partnering with individuals who are in the state and an IT expert to train people across the state.
All right, I know that we have a lot to discuss, but
yes, please.
Time cannot permit us.
Yes.
We'll still have you some other time.
All right.
But before you go,
yes,
a lot of people are still not moving with technology. Your parting word for them?
Yeah, I want to encourage people to get informed, right? Ask questions if you don't know. Get informed. The world is moving, and then the world will move away. I mean, before now, it was terrestrial television and radio stations. Now, everything has gone, it's facing out.
Yes, we are going digital.
So that's what's going to happen. Old things would, like the Bible will say, will pass away, and then new things will come. So when new things come, learn to adopt and adapt.
Okay.
Yes, please. And then support the government. It's important. When government pushes out the project, be a part of it, because you don't know where the one that will work for you don't know where it comes from. There are many things you will try that will not work, but one will definitely work.
All right. Thank you very much for being on the program today. And our viewers out there, we believe you've learned something today. And if so, join us same time next week. Our guest today has been Mr. Shola Ishola, Media Assistant to Governor of Osun State on ICT. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, sir.
All right. See you next week. Bye-bye.